Today we're going to review adding and subtracting decimals. So you'll notice there's 3 problems on the side, and the main thing that you need to remember when you're adding and subtracting decimals is you have to keep the decimal lined up. So some of the things that somebody kind of sometimes say that you can do is make a T-chart. So you make a T-chart and then your decimals go right on that T-chart. So for example, this first number 12 and 635 thousandths, the 12 would go in front, there's the decimal, and then the 635 thousandths would go to the right after the decimal. I could do the same thing here with the 784. They would go in front, there's my decimal, and then the 6/10 would go after towards the end. So from there I could actually solve the question, and in this specific case I am adding. So I would add, you have some things right here that don't have anything there. You can add zeros as placeholders if you'd like, just to make sure we have everything lined up correctly, and then literally you just add down the line. So 5 plus 0 is 5, 3 plus 0 is 3, 6 plus 6 is 12, so I carry my 1. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, 1 plus 8 is 9, and then 7 gives me 7. So my decimal in my answer literally just comes straight down the line on that T-chart. So my final answer here would be 797 and 235 thousandths. So again, making sure that we're lining up those decimals. So the second example, we can do that one without a T-chart, just so we can kind of see how that works. 15 and 74 hundredths, and the next number is 9 and 39 hundredths. So the 9 is going to go right here. I line up that decimal straight underneath where this other decimal was, and then I have 39 hundredths as well. This specific example we are subtracting. So I draw my line, and then it looks like we're going to have some borrowing to do. So 4 minus 9, I can't do that, so I'm going to come over here to the 7. The 7 is going to become a 6, and this 4 is going to regroup to a 14. 14 minus 9 is going to be 5. 6 minus 3 is going to be 3. Again, I'm going to have to regroup. 5 minus 9, I can't do that, so I borrow, and this becomes 15 minus 9, which gives me 6. Same thing happens, my decimal literally just drops down into my answer with addition and subtraction. So my answer would be 6 and 35 hundredths for that specific question. Last example, this is where people get a little confused. This one says 100 minus 47 and 98 hundredths. So you'll see a lot of people actually do this, and they'll put the 100 underneath. And unfortunately, that's not correct, because we know with decimals we actually have to line them up. So if we're having to line up the decimal, then we need to figure out where the decimal is on that 100. Well, this is like $100. So the only place I can put this decimal that's going to keep it to be $100 is at the end. Anywhere else I put it is going to make it a different value. So if that decimal is at the end, then I would line it up to look something like this: 47 and 98 hundredths. Okay, so from there, I absolutely am going to need to add these placeholders here, because I'm going to need to do some subtracting, and I'm going to have to do lots of regrouping in this question. So I'm going to come all the way over here to this 1. The 1 is going to become a 0. This 0 becomes a 9. This one becomes a 9. This one becomes a 9, and then this one finally becomes a 10. So 10 minus 8 gives me 2. 9 minus 9 gives me 0. 9 minus 7 gives me 2, and 9 minus 4 gives me 5. Again, I line up my decimals, so the only thing I have to do is drop my decimal down in the answer. So again, with adding and subtracting decimals, the biggest thing I need to remember is to line them up.